And greetings everyone, Lights and Gear is back with another flashlight review. Today we talk about the new Imalent DN11, which is a compact flashlight and rather powerful as well. 2200 lumens is the top output for this little fella. It has similarities to the Imalent DN11, which I reviewed back when, probably over a year ago now. And it had a unique digital display, which was actually a little bit difficult to read, and which some people complained about not working quite right in various types of weather conditions. But I think they've certainly improved on that for this light. It does have a display which they call an OLED, and I'm not even sure what that really means, but OLED digital LED flashlight. So OLED is referring to the little display that it has, and it does give you the information that you need about the battery, but this one actually has switches to, like most flashlights do, as opposed to the DN11, which was sort of an electronic kind of gizmo. But this one does lend itself more, I think, to making the display more useful, and I'm sure it won't have weather problems like the other one did. So anyway, this is their typical Imalent box, and on the back you get information, of course, about the flashlights. There's some of the basics here: candle power, it's right up there, as well as runtime, and it is waterproof, IPX8, and it's 1.5 meters impact resistant, and your beam distance is almost 600 meters, and that's well over 600 yards. So it does throw a good beam out there because it uses the XHP35 high intensity LED. So inside the box here we will get much of the typical. Imalent kind of saves money on user manuals, since you just get this little piece of paper, but it is the manual, so it does tell you what you need to know about the flashlight. And here are your modes: low, medium, high, and turbo. 20 lumens for low, 450, 1500 for high, and 2200 for turbo. And your runtime, even on turbo, is over 2 hours, which is pretty good, and 50 hours on your low mode. So that's not too bad. I mean, even 20 lumens is not like a it's not like a moonlight mode, so, but running for 50 hours on that is pretty cool as well. The reason for all this, or one of the reasons, is because it uses a 26650 battery, which they include. So that's a nice little addition. Basic information about the flashlight, and some other bits of information on here. I don't really see anywhere that it actually, yeah, it does. It tells you when the battery is low, when it's less than 3.1 volts. You get a symbol on the OLED display that will blink 8 times every 30 seconds to remind you that the battery needs to be changed. I personally have not seen that yet. Haven't seen it do that yet, since I haven't run the battery down that far yet. And oh yeah, it's also rechargeable. I didn't even mention that yet. So it is USB rechargeable. Okay. You want to see more or read more or find out more of what is in the user manual, check out my written review on the website. 2 spare O-rings, that's what you get. And here is your belt holster. It's very, very typical. Nothing special. But it's a good belt holster. And in the belt holster is the micro USB charger. And that's a good long one too. Some of them are so short. This one's very long. But of course you amass quite a collection of these if you get several rechargeable flashlights. There is no lanyard. So that's it for carrying, is the belt holster. And here is the flashlight. Not very big, not very tall. It's about 1.5 inches wide and just over 4 inches long. Imalent never puts anything on the light as far as any embossing or anything. All their lights are noted on, or all their information is noted on the bottom, DN35. And this one's blue, so it's kind of has a sort of an attractive look about it. Here's your LED. This is a high intensity XHP35 amidst a smooth reflector. A lot of smooth reflectors these days. I'm not getting a lot of lights that have orange peel anymore. Pretty much they're all smooth, which gives them that long beam throw. And everybody seems to be into high intensity LEDs and long beam throws these days. All the days of those wide beams with the orange peel reflectors seem to have gone by the wayside for the most part. Anyway, so one of the negatives I'll say about this light, there aren't too many negatives, but one of them is that in the dark it's very hard to find these buttons. Nothing lights up, so it's, here is the USB rechargeable port over here. So there's that, and switch cover here. They don't give you a spare switch cover either. And the switches are on the opposite side. So in the dark, if you can somehow feel for the rubber switch cover, then go 180 degrees and perhaps you'll be able to find the other buttons. But they are right here, and they each have their own function. This is the regular on and off, and this is for the special functions. And because it also has, in addition to the 4 modes, it has strobe, SOS, and location beacon. So to turn it on, I should show you the battery. Now the bottom, this looks like it comes off, but I don't believe it does. So, and even if it did, it's extremely hard to grip because there's not much here to grip. So just twist it from the center. And here is the battery, which it came with. So there's your 4500 mAh 26650 battery. 4500 is, I guess, of medium capacity. I mean, I've got some which are 5000 and over, so you can use any 14500 you like. As far as I know, I think the charger works. It should work with any 26650. That's what I was going to mention. It is a bit finicky with 26650 batteries in the sense that it'll only take, this is a flat top, and I have a couple of other 26650s that it won't accept because it's got the button top. So just be aware of that. I mean, obviously they give you this battery and it's fine to use, and 4500 mAh is nothing to sneeze at. But just in case you wanted a spare battery to use for it, be careful whether it's careful if it has too much of a button top, because the ones I have, I think they were Phoenix with a button top, and it won't work with them. So just know that. A couple of others that I have, which I think are X-Star, which have a little less of a button top, they work in this fine. This is your on-off power switch, and you press it once to turn it on, and press and hold to turn it off. So just one click gives you immediate light, and the display here the display here will show you what you're doing. So right off the bat, here is 20 lumens, and the battery voltage is 3.89. And that toggles back and forth for a little bit, and then it disappears. So anyway, press it again, and there's 450 lumens, and press it again, and there's 1500 lumens. So that's how you do your regular switching there, and now the battery voltage has dropped to 3.72. And then to turn it off, just press and hold. And the other side here are your other modes. And if you want turbo, now you can get to turbo with it already being on, or you can get to turbo with it in the off position. So if I wanted turbo, press and hold, and just like it says there, 2200 lumens in the display. Now if I want strobe from here, I think I double click. Okay, double click. There's strobe. Double click again. There's SOS. Double click again, and here's location beacon. Just like that. Blink, blink. And then if I double click again, I go back to strobe. So I've got to press and hold it, and then keep holding it for a couple of seconds to lock in the turbo, and then it'll go back to that mode again. And then over here, press and hold to turn it off. It does have a memory, and let me see if it even remembers. I don't think it will remember. Well, let me see. We'll turn it on again. Okay, yeah, it reverts back. It doesn't remember the special modes. It doesn't remember strobe or turbo and the other modes, but there you see it reverted back to the high mode over here. So let's turn the other lights off here so we can at least have a look at what it's doing during all this. So we are in low right now, and you can see that well in the dark. As I say, that doesn't stay on too long. It goes off after a minute. So here is low, and here's high. I mean, you know, it doesn't have that many levels on it, of course. So for some people that like 4 and 5 different levels with a moonlight and everything, you're not getting that here. You're getting a pretty basic set of outputs, but it's still good. And right now we are in 1500. And at least by looking at the display, of course, I mean, there's no guessing where you are. It's just look at the display and that's where you are. So it takes the guesswork out of counting, you know, how many clicks you made and what you might be in at the moment. So let me go over to turbo, and I can press and hold from high, and it will go into turbo. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of bump there, but that's just the way things are. That's just the way these lights are when they get up to the high modes. You know, here's 2200, and there I just bumped down to 1500. So there's a little bit of a bump there. 1500, and there's 2200. And of course, as the battery starts to get a little bit lower, it may not stay on 2200. You know, it may just kick back after a few seconds. And I don't think there's a step down on this either. I do not see anything about that in the manual, and I haven't run it continuously like that to see if it did step down, but I haven't. There's nothing in the manual about it stepping down, so it appears as if it may stay on that mode for a little bit. And when you're charging it, you plug in the charger, of course, on the other side there, the USB, and when you do so, the display lights up with a battery, you know, like the blink, 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 you know, with the 4 bars. So that lights up in the display. Now you see the display has gone off now. Back to 20 lumens. So the display lights up with a battery configuration to show you that it's charging. So you can check out pictures of all this on my website at lightsandgear.com with my written review. So basically that's it. I think the Imalent DN35 is a pretty useful flashlight. It for people who like 26650 batteries, I think it's pretty cool. It certainly does get bright, and it's easy to operate. And my website at lightsandgear.com has more information about it. Of course, there are outdoor pictures on there, so please check those out. I think you'll be pleased with the outdoor shots and the beam distance, as well as the output on this. So check out my website there and look at those outdoor pictures. And there's also a link, obviously, below here and within my written review if you'd like to pick one up. There is a link there to do that. And you can like this, share this, and